Hello everyone, this is Rehan Huda from India Today Gaming, and today we have a very special guest for our interaction. Join us in welcoming Mr. Rajan Vagadia, the Vice President of Qualcomm India and the President of Qualcomm India and the SAARC region. Thank you, sir, for joining us for this interaction. First question that I have for you is regarding the Qualcomm Snapdragon Conquest tournament. Qualcomm recently announced its entry in the esports segment.
So basically, I think this is the if I have to say a few lines on why we did it is it goes to mark our commitment to this rising interest of mobile gaming in India. And through this conquest, Snapdragon Conquest, we are creating a community that will challenge the competitive skills of the gamers. And in return, which will allow us to also get a deeper understanding of the gaming needs of all the users or gamers from India. I see it more like creating a social competition, which connects the gamers of India, allows a sort of a neutral platform or a platform that allows everybody to participate, agnostic of the brand of phone they have or the chipset they have. The only common thread is the first season is driven out of Free Fire. So it will be, they will have to play Free Fire. And that will enable us to extend this, almost democratizes, if that's a word I can use. And end of it, objective is that as they play this, they also we get to understand what are those demands they have, which we do understand because we are involved in gaming and gaming design probably for last more than 10 years. But this is basically coming as close as you can really get to the end user who is a gamer here.
Okay, cool. About the next question, how does Qualcomm plan to evolve the esports ecosystem in India? And in addition, how is the Indian market different from the world market when it comes to esports?
So let us think about the consumer in India. How is it different, basically? So that would be a bit almost reflective of what was the question. So we are one of the largest bases of gaming community, as you already know, right? So how India is positioned to be playing a lead role in this arena of esports, what justifies India to be rightfully in that area is basically because of the width of the reach of this platform. So India being the mobile first country, India with 365 odd million gamers, right? And with the internet connectivity and the data rates being are affordable, this rising interest of gaming in India is actually the reason for us to get into such an activity. And one thing which we have seen is that when I say game, if you look at the phone and as it morphed or as it evolved over the period of time, the phone became your TV, or the phone became your music player, or the phone became your camera, or the phone became your GPS, or it became your PC. But when it comes to, when everything of this got delivered through the phone, and the phone almost represents all those devices which are otherwise independent devices, it actually created a ground for the next device, and that was the gaming device, the console. India doesn't have that many PCs, or it would not have that many consoles, so low penetration is there, right? And then it's a very youthful market. All set right, that there's low penetration of PCs, low penetration of consoles, and then primarily the youth, a huge youth, a very affordable data rate. All of these, and the device now becoming almost like a gaming console, because everything that a gaming experience needs, whether it is from the right display or the rendering of the video or the audio, these all got already solved by when this phone replaced the audio system, or it replaced the TV, or it replaced the video, or even a connectivity device, right? So it has everything which was required. which probably would eventually create this experience of gaming device on a phone. So when everything got mixed up, it is like all the stars are falling in the right place.
Yeah.
And the environment is also true, and hence I would say that this probably is the best time to get in.
Okay, cool. Do you also plan to collaborate with other stakeholders in the esports community or other ecosystem in India? And adding to that question, does Qualcomm also plan to sponsor players in India along with any development aspects to develop players for the global stage?
So there is one reason why we looked at India as the launch platform for Conquest, right? Our focus at this time is making this platform available to the Indian market and to the Indian gamers, which is massive.
Yeah.
And at the same time, learn from them, right?
Okay.
Being a neutral platform to quite some extent, and as we want to continue to probably keep it as neutral as we can, depending on the experiences we want to derive or experiences you want to deliver, the only way you could do it is keep it neutral without exactly having any encumbrances on it. Having said that, as we progress and as this Conquest takes the next avatars, or as it grows, and as we learn and grow, we will look at all potential opportunities which probably would help us enhance already what we are doing, right? If what we are doing is sufficient enough, then probably there may not be too much of a value in adding. Yet the objective, we want to keep it as this should be a platform which is available for a larger participation. So this is what is the intent of this platform.
And anything on the sponsorships, like sponsoring and supporting whatever talent that comes out of the tournaments?
So if you have seen the format of the game today, and the reward monies are there, they will be, I think the whole thing is it's a motivation which we want them to drive a motivation in them. The prize pool is not small, it's 50 lakh rupees.
Yeah.
I think that's a sizable pool, I would assume. And then again, it's a pool which is distributed among various categories to actually motivate all the gamers. And it's just sort of a gratification where individual awards are also there. This, I would say, when you look at individual awards of the best skill play in the whole of the game, those categories are going to encourage gamers to be proficient, not just as an individual, as a team, right? So I would say various categories have been created keeping in mind that all aspects of motivation or all of rewards are there for the players.
Oh, cool. The company also announced its flagship SoC, the Snapdragon 888. How does 888 and its Adreno 660 GPU fit into this picture? Because India as a esports market is dominated by players in the mid-range and the lower end spectrum in terms of devices. So could you share details on Snapdragon 888?
So I'm not sure whether did you attend the 888 launch, and are you aware of what all we announced? And specifically, I'll go to then the Elite Gaming part of 888.
I did, like the Elite Gaming new features, including the quick touch and the variable rate shading. Yeah.
Exactly. So Elite Gaming is something, and this goes with the DNA of Qualcomm, right? So if you have been tracking Qualcomm, you know that anything that is an 800 series eventually waterfalls down to the lower series over a period of time. Yeah. The objective is that what is once a premium does not remain premium. Okay. It's available to the old. That's the whole intent of having something like an Elite Gaming created. Now, the experiences which you heard, the very unique experiences like the high HDR quality graphics which supports 888 supports, or the variable rate shading, or the Qualcomm Game Quick, right? Touch. That sort of features also have dependency on the hardware associated with other hardware that goes. Now, one of the, as we said that like we run with a basic motto that we make this technology available to the masses. If you look at 4G, I think then that is one very clear indication of how Qualcomm works. 4G is available to every section of the society as a technology, and all what 4G could have delivered are virtually there, right? From a feature phone which has a TV in its own form already there on that feature phone of a 4G, right, to the highest end device which is there in the market on 4G. Likewise, as we make 5G also affordable, and our intent is to see that how 5G also is available to the all. We call it 5G for all, sort of a motto or a theme. We believe that all of these features of gaming, which you saw at 888, eventually, as we progress, we want to give either the same or a derivative version of that feature to the entry level or the lowest of the tier. This is something which we have done successfully across all the time. If you monitored us, look at the processors which are there today, which were in the 400 series or the 600 series. You see all of those capabilities are trickling down. So we see that as gaming is available across as of today, a feature like a quick touch, which gives you 20% higher speed or responsiveness, would play a very important role in an experience. And as Qualcomm, I think we have been driving this philosophy that we drive innovations, and innovations are available to everybody. So with that, and we probably would like to say that what you see as the 888 almost becoming console equivalent, right? And also consoles are also progressing as they move it, but almost console equivalent with a lot of other, and maybe sometimes even some features are better than even a console.
Yeah.
The price points are also like going to be more affordable. So today, if a gaming is available to the lowest tier, can you imagine that a few years back would have, if you just minus out the smartphone, there would have been no possibility that gaming would have reached the way it has reached today. So I would say more and more as we bring the experiences, the premium experiences across the tier, right, that is going to be very helpful. Come 5G, and I think in India we probably, for once, this is going to help India, Rehan, and we have to look at and tie up a little bit with all of that also. By we look at gaming as a standalone thing, it is probably not going to stay standalone, because let's say when cloud gaming comes in, and as 5, in the past, you would have seen that the 4G came a few years behind the rest of the world. In India, 5G probably will come with a lot lesser difference than the globe, right? And as the globe tries to take off 5G, India will actually start 5G. Now, when 5G comes, the gaming experiences will be totally different. Now, imagine that situation that you are almost in the same stage as the rest of the world for once, right? Even on the gaming. So everything the globe is experiencing, we are experiencing at the same time. That actually creates the ground for us to say we have arrived, and whatever we do here can also be taken out of this country, right? And it can be actually pasted out of this country. It can be copied into other countries, because then you have everything that was ingredient to gaming in a 5G environment is available in India. So I think that level playing field which India gets with the arrival of 5G, gaming is actually going to take a sort of a more predominant global position through India, which wasn't in the past. Now it would be.
Okay. So we already talked about elite gaming features like Game Quick Touch and variable rate shading. And I guess last year it was high refresh rate gaming, and now Qualcomm addressed or rather improved on the latency part. Could you tease or hint at what Qualcomm would look at next in the elite gaming suite of features?
I think if it's the Elite Gaming, you're just coming out of the tech summit, right? So my
Yeah.
point is that you have heard the latest already. While it's nice you ask us this question, because that is also going to say that the expectation of avid watchers like you, or even players like you are expecting more from Qualcomm. This is absolutely logical, because we have always stood by that motto that you should expect more from us. Now, I may not be able to give you all of that details today, even as a teaser, but I'm glad you asked this question, because this reinforces the fact that you expect the best to come from us the earliest. So, but keep watching us. You'll see more. You'll see more.
Okay. For the final question, you talked about democratizing gaming in India, and you already mentioned that whatever features that 888 or rather 800 series gets, it gradually trickles down to other like series like the 6 series, 7 series, and sometimes in 4 series. What is Qualcomm doing to bring the mid-range segment of devices to the fold in terms of esports? Because casual gaming is already there, but is Qualcomm working on something immediately or in coming months to include the mid-range, be it like in terms of newer chipsets or anything else?
I think gaming stays as one critical thing in our portfolio, right? And you have seen that today also, you can play, for example, this Free Fire across all platforms.
Yeah.
Be it right from the 800 series to the lower series. We have a very strong portfolio in the mid-range, right? The 700 and the 600 series. So what was there in 800 went to become a 700 and transcend from 700 to 600 series. So while the basic bottom up, there is everything else. And I give this example as to buy a sort of a car, and the car has an engine, and let's call it a GPU.
Yeah.
Okay. So the car is, for one, the engine is lot more than a GPU. It's more like a processor itself. But my point is the car, let's say GPU. Inherently, a version of a car, take any example of any car, there'll be 7 models of that particular model, right? 7 variants of this model. And essentially, you may see that each model has got something different. In case of GPU, one thing is guaranteed: the engine is definitely there. So what we would like to say is that constantly you can always expect that in terms of the GPU or the battery life across the platforms, you will always see you can take it for granted, almost a given in true sense for all Snapdragon thing, right? Small Snapdragon processors. I would not necessarily say that today gaming is not available at all tiers. So trying to bring more is all what you can. Definitely, I will agree with you on that. Okay, how do you bring more of elite gaming features to the lower tiers? That absolutely is an ongoing process, right? And it comes gradually. But as far as gaming is concerned today, with this Conquest platform, I'm inviting everybody at all tiers to come and play. Free Fire is played across all tiers.
The difference that I'm talking about is esports, because esports by nature is competitive. So there is a inherent difference in terms of what a 800 series can do in terms of capability versus some player with a 600 or a 700 chipset. Given that it's live, so whatever that 10-20% or milliseconds is a difference. So I wanted to focus on that aspect, like is the company doing something which we can see in coming months which can bridge the gap or something?
So one thing is clear, that as we look, we all know this. We have studied a lot on terms of the constitution of the gaming community in India, right? In terms of would we say that this is this contest will have only 800 series guys winning the top contest? I can only assure you one thing: is you see, as we come to the end of this contest, as the finale people come in, you will be surprised as terms of the devices they bring in. So it is not always, it's a skill, right? Yes, you can. Like today, I can say that, okay, can I skate? Or maybe let's take another example. If I have the best quality of skates in the world, ice skates, can I skate well?
Not really, it just helps.
It's not really, right? It's not really. And probably, can I do with maybe, or maybe football shoes. Let's say ice skating is something which is a little bit away from me. But let's say if you're talking about football, if I have the best of the shoes, can I play the best? Not necessarily.
No.
Right? So I think it's a skill also which is inherently important, and I think you and me both will stand surprised, and I'm ready for it. That when you look at the people who really qualify based on their skills as they get qualified to the finale, you will see the type of devices they have been playing on. Right? Of course, at the finale, our intent is to give them one platform to play. But till finale, we definitely want this to be absolutely open so that nobody is held back from participating. So you are comfortable on your device. If I give you my phone today to play, probably you will still struggle a little bit, right? Sometimes the gamers are so like they play so many hours on the phone. They get so comfortable. It's a skill. They develop the skill. They are comfortable with the touch and the responsiveness of the touch and all that. So they have actually their mind and their hands. That combination is very well set, and they have tuned themselves to it. And here we are saying that the only criterion which we have kept is that they should have a level 10 and above score to participate, right? So that basically inherently brings you with some skill, which still probably is that the most of the players will be still qualifying for that. That's what is our premise.
Sure. Okay, that concludes my questions. Thanks a lot, Rajan, for taking your time and answering all the questions. And
request you to just watch us, monitor us, participate, cover us, and also happy to take any of your questions and inputs. It's not just, I would like to say that as you have been following us and you've been following this field very closely, I think you can also give us feedback as in when you think that, okay, these are a few things Qualcomm could have thought. You've been a friend of Qualcomm, so please continue that friendship and keep guiding us also.